Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Sima Gold. If this is your first time of coming across my channel, please kindly subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I post a new video. So today we're going to be making the bubble dress style we saw earlier before this video, and it's as simple as anything. So I have my fabric unfold already into 4 places, and I have the length of my gown. So the first thing I'll be looking out for now is on this folded part that doesn't have an opening. These are the parts that have opening. I would come to the side. I would mark 3 inches by 1, and this 3 inches by 1 is going to be representing the back part of this gown. And then I will mark 3 inches by 15 inches, which would represent the front part of this gown. Now after doing that, I'm going to come and connect. I'll come inward here by 2 inches, and then I will connect from the neck down to this way, and I will just keep marking the 2 inches straight down to the hemming part of this dress. So this is me marking the 2 inches straight down. Then you just keep marking the 2 inches. Mark the 2 inches straight down till you get to the hemming part. So having marked all of this, the 2 inches, I would come down from this center, from the center, I would mark about, say, 21 inches or 20 inches, depending on you, the length of the sleeve. Now, how do you get the length of the sleeve? You measure from the mid neck down to the point where you want the sleeve to stop. So from the mid neck to where I want the sleeve to stop is about 23. So because I'll be adding a black band here, I will just mark 20 for the sleeve. The other extra 1 inch is for joining allowance, or let me mark 20.5. So I will join by half of an inch. Then I would come down by this side by 1.5 inches for my slope, and then connect it to the neck part. After doing that for the sleeve, I'll come down immediately after the shoulder slope by 12.5, and I'll connect it straight down. Then I would mark from the starting line down to, say, 25 or 26 for the hip line. So after getting the hip line, I'm going to come from the center front, and I'll be marking the hip measurements here. So I'm working with a hip of 50. Hip of 50 divided by 4 would give me 12.5. After the 12.5, I'm going to be adding 2 inches to it. So 12.5 plus 2 inches will give me 14.5. So I'll mark 14.5 here, and I'll continue that marking of 14.5 to the down part of this gown. I'll keep marking 14.5. So this is me marking the 14.5, and I'll do that till the hemming part of the gown. 14.5 and 14.5. After doing that, I'll mark it upward to 14.5, and then I'll connect it to the armhole. So after doing that, what I would now do at this point is to curve it this way. So that being done, the next thing I will do is to cut it out. So I'll just cut the hip part down. So after cutting that part, I'll cut out this part. for the sleeve, and then I'll cut out the shoulder slope. Now for the neck part, I'll first of all cut out the back neck. After cutting out the back neck, I will take it out. After taking it out, I'm going to fold it back. I'm going to fold everything back, the front part back together, making sure they are all equal to each other. So when you are setting that you've gotten the right measurement, all you will need to do is to start cutting from here straight down to the ending part of this gown. So then I'll take this part off. Then I'll bring in the back. Then I'll bring in the back of this bubu, and I'll place them together, shoulder to shoulder, and I'll measure from here down to the hemming part of the front gown. This is shoulder to shoulder here already, and all I need to do is to measure from the center back straight down to the hemming part of this gown. Whatever I have, I would add 3 inches to it, then multiply it by 2, because you remember I'm measuring it when it's on fold. So let's do that together. So after measuring, we have 76, sorry. Now 76 times 2 will give me 152. So I'll lay this aside. I'm going to get this fabric. I need about 152 inches length, and then the wideness I will be needing. So the wideness I will be needing would be 6 inches. Now, remember we took off about 2.5 inches from the front while we were drafting, 2 to 2.5. So what I'll need to do now is to multiply it by 2. That gives me 5 inches. Then that 5 inches, I would add sewing allowance to it. So the wideness, that makes it 6 inches. So the wideness I will be needing for this would be 6 inches. So on that 6 inches, I'm going to be measuring 6 inches by 60 inches till I get the actual length I want, which is 152. So we just keep measuring 6 inches by 152, 6 inches by 152. When you, as we are marking, would as we measure, we mark until we get the actual number we want, which is 6 inches by 152. So we are marking the 6 inches now. So after marking, we cut. You keep cutting. Now what we have now is this: the length. This fabric is by 60, so the length is 60 plus another 60 plus another 32, which gives us a total of 152. So we are going to just keep cutting like I'm doing on the video right now. We just keep cutting it out. So after cutting it out, we'll just cut the other one remaining that will make it up to 152, which is the length we need for this black fabric.
So I'll place it on this one, extra fabric that is there now, and then I'll measure out the extra. So you have, what you have to do is to make sure that the length you actually measured from your center back down to the down hemming part of your front, you get it, and then you add about 3 inches on both sides, which would be a total of 6 inches. So whatever length you have, make sure you add it to. You add about 6 inches. It's better to have excess than to have shortage while sewing, and then you cut it out. So having done this, the next thing I'll do is to go to my sewing machine. I'll join these three together to become one, and then after joining them to become one, I'll get the front and the back, and then join the shoulders. After joining the shoulders, I'll bring it back to the table and we'll do the next step.
So I'm done joining the shoulders. I've joined the shoulders and I have this opening here. So um the next thing I'll be doing is to come to the sleeve part, and I have this black that is here. I'll fold it into two. I have my stay already on it, and I'll join it to the sleeve of the bubu and on the other side. Now I'll lay this aside and let's talk about the black design that we're going to be using. So this black design that we'll be using, I'll fold it into two equal halves because it's going to serve for both front and back, left and right. I've joined them together. So when I get them to be equal together, I make them very equal. I'll come to the folded parts. This folded part, I'll get the middle parts first.
So the folded part, when we finish, the middle part, the mid part is actually 3 inches. It's 3 inches. So because this is a total of 6 inches, on the mining there was a little mishap when I was doing this, so I had to use audio to correct this. This is the middle part is 3 inches. So you're going to mark 13 inches from that mid part, that place that was folded, down to this place. So you're going to be leaving 13 inches open. After the 13 inches, you keep marking your 3 inches to get the middle this of the cape. To get the middle, you keep marking your 3 inches. Remember, this is side by side 6 inches, so you are marking 3 inches to get the middle part of from the 6 inches. So you're just going to continue doing that till you get to the ending of this. Then you take to your sewing machine and run a straight stitch there.
Okay, so after joining the center, I'm going to now turn it like this, making sure that they are all equal. So this is what I'm going to be having. Make them come this way, and I would weave the sides. After weaving the sides, I would now give it a good press. After giving it a good press, I would top stitch on it.
And then I would make sure that it's laid flat after top stitching, then give it a good press. So after giving it a good press, you just make sure that generally everything is equal. If anywhere you need to trim, you trim. Then you check, you can wear the neck. First of all, now you can put this around the neck and see if it gives you the depth you want. If it's too high, you can reduce it. You can open up the neck and top stitch. If it's too low, whatever way it is, you can adjust to whatever you want. If you want it too high or too low, that's why at this point it's important to wear first.
I would iron this, give this a good press. I would top stitch it and do everything necessary. Then get the middle part of this. This is the back neck. and I'm facing this straight down to the ending of the front, I'll get the middle part of this and I'll start sewing. I'll sew from this side. I'll sew from this side to this side straight down. I'll do the other sewing at the other end, and then I'll give it a good press, and I'll come show us the final outcome. So let me show you for the final time how the sewing is going to take place. Now this is my bubu, and this is the bubu. Now this is the neck part for the center back. I'm going to get the middle part of this, and I'm going to top stitch. I'm going to sew it, not top stitch, sorry. I'm going to pick this up and pick this up and sew it from this side. This part will be sewn straight down, and this other part will be sewn straight down to this end. After that, you fit your side by 1 inch, give it a good press, and I'll show us the final outcome.